Hello everyone, so I'm back with another tutorial of Barbie neck repair. So, I know people really like it when I do these sort of tutorials, and I like showing them when I can, so here we go. So I have a Surf's Up Beach Barbie from 2007 to 2008. And this is another one that her neck chipped, only this time it chipped in the back, as you can see. Now what I was going to try to do, I actually chipped the big portion off. There's a little tiny piece. If I can get it to focus. So there's actually a little tiny piece that was right here. That was the only piece that was broken off, but I chipped the bigger portion off in the back because I was going to try to take this thing out so that I could file it. But as you can see, I wound up being able to file it down just with a fingernail file, like I showed in my other video. But I was able to move it out of the way, file it down to make that shiny edge go away. So hopefully I'll be able to glue this in place. So actually I did repair another one, but it didn't quite work out the way I wanted. Her neck can still pivot. I'm gonna hope that her neck stays the way it's, I'm hoping that it stays fixed and doesn't chip again. No guarantees on that, but she can still pivot around. I tried to glue her neck joint in place and it didn't work because I couldn't get in there and sand it down. Because the only part of her neck that chipped was right there, and it made it really difficult to get in there. So naturally the super glue slid off of the shiny surface, so her neck did come loose and now it can pivot again. Hopefully it doesn't chip again, but as I said, no guarantees. But it also might have to do with the neck joint itself, because around the late 2000s, they started... Here, let me see if I can focus. So yeah, for some reason in the late 2000s, I believe, they started making the little, like, disc at the end, like, where the little piece goes through. They started making that smaller, and so it makes it... That's why you'll find a lot of Barbies from that time period. They'll have, like, bobbleheads and stuff. Their neck joints will get loose easily because this disc part where the piece goes through it is a little bit smaller, so it's a little more difficult to glue the newer ones in place because there's like the walls of the inside of the neck are not touching that, so you kind of need that. But anyhow, enough of my rambling. I'm going to get into the restoration. So these are actually the two neck pieces that broke off. You can see the little small one and the big one. So that's basically what we're going to try to fix back the way it was. So here we go. So just like the last video, I'm going to go ahead and be gluing. I'm trying to glue the neck joint in place. So I'm going to get my super glue. I've already chipped off all the glue buildup. Actually, more has built up on there. Super glue is notorious for that. Sometimes it likes to clog up the tube, so I'm just going to get this ultra big safety pin and poke it in there. Yeah. I did this earlier and a huge wad of glue came out. Very much like that. That's not as big of a wad of glue as it was before, but anyhow, you're gonna get your doll. And put some glue all over that area. So I'm going to try to put the small piece back in there. The little small piece. Fortunately, the floor is all clean, swept up, because the little tiny piece actually did get lost earlier. So it's kind of like a puzzle. You kind of have to figure out which way it broke and then glue it in there. Nope, there's no point. Bottom, okay. So see, we have the piece in there. So I'm going to take a little glue and put it there. And now I'm going to take a random object. I'm just going to use the safety pin and try to position it the way it's supposed to be. Okay. Delicate little dance. Okay, so that piece is in, which is probably going to be the hardest part because it's so small. So there you go. There you have it. That piece is in. I'm just gonna, here while it's in there, I will put some super glue right there, smeared around. So there we go. There's that. So now for the last part is going to be the big piece that I broke off myself, because I didn't realize that the little plastic piece that goes through that hole. So yeah, you have this like plastic peg that goes through the disc thing. I didn't realize that it was that far down, so, because I was going to try to take this whole neck joint out and sand it down, but yeah, it was gonna, her neck piece was gonna break off anyway, so might as well go ahead and do it the rest of the way. So put a bunch there, get my piece. And I'm basically using the neck joint to kind of push it down into place. And there we have it. See, this was in my very first neck repair video I did. I mean, yeah, you can still see it, but sometimes in that video it was like super out of place and you could really see the cracks. These pieces just fit right back into place. Sometimes you'll get that, if you're lucky. The pieces will go right in like they should. But it all depends on how the pieces broke off in the first place, so. I'm just going to put some glue over the crack, like that. Put some down in there. I don't think, there's a little fracture. I'm not sure if you can see it. But like on her neck, there's a little fracture that goes down. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but hopefully, it will not chip ever again. So even if this doesn't glue her neck joint in place, at least there will be glue inside coating the walls of her neck and from the inside. So I'm just going to do that. Move it around and just try to position it to where it will, so position it straight. So it's not crooked or anything like that, because if it dries like this in place, then her head's going to be tilting to the side and stuff like that. So you don't want that, because then it's going to look really awkward. So I will let that dry. Give you another good look at all the glue I put on there. And so when this dries, I will come back and she will be reassembled. Okay, so I'm back, and she has kind of successfully been glued in place. By that I mean she can still pivot. I wasn't able to glue her neck joint in place, so hopefully it doesn't break again. But there's no guarantee. Usually a doll, it doesn't matter, they'll usually chip again. So hopefully the next time that happens, I'll be able to glue her neck joint in place so that she can keep her body. But as you can see, that is what the patch looks like in the back. So there we have it. See, I put a really thick layer of super glue over the cracks just to keep it as intact as possible so that it hopefully doesn't chip again. But yeah, I mean, tugging on that quite hard and moving it around, so I mean, I just messed her hair up, but you know, you get it. You get the gist. But yeah, she's on there. And her neck is very secure, even though she can still pivot. It's not loose or anything. But yeah, I can't stress it enough to, and once again, I did a big no-no on this tutorial by leaving her clothes on. I definitely recommend removing any clothing from your doll in case it gets messy and you don't want to get super glue on your dolls. And speaking of super glue, you definitely want to use brand new super glue. So I'm not sure how long it takes for the super glue to expire, but you just have to look it up. But yeah. Anyhow, it fixed her. Definitely be in a clean environment and stuff like that, so in case, you know, any of the pieces go flying, that you can find them, hopefully, because I did in fact lose that little tiny neck piece that I glued over on that side, but I was able to find it. So yeah, I was able to fix both of my dolls, both of my Surf's Up Beach Barbies. So anyhow, I hope you guys found this video entertaining and informative. Thank you for watching, and more videos to come. And remember to stay true to you.